Hi, welcome back to AT Math. Today, 8-6, choosing a factoring method. Why, more fun than running along a beach. Okay. Well, what we're going to do here is you can follow along on page 566 if you wish. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these two first examples, and the question becomes, can we factor these any further? In other words, can we pull more things out of what's inside the parentheses to the outside? Let's take a look at the next page and we'll see. Well, to tell whether each polynomial is completely factored or not, let's take a look. I already have a 2x on the outside. Can I take x squared plus 4 and make it smaller? Can I split it into two smaller things? You might think x plus 2 squared because x times x is x squared and 2 times 2 is 4, but don't forget that when you cross them over you have that 2 times x and 2 times x, and you're missing that all-important 4x. Therefore, x squared plus 4 is actually the last stop and there's nothing more to be done there. So this is completely factored. On the other hand, you have 2x plus 6 and x plus 5. True, x plus 5 is factored. There's nothing more I can do. But 2x plus 6, I can pull a 2 out. So by pulling a 2 out, now I have 2 on the outside, x plus 3 and x plus 5, and that is now completely factored. Again, it says here factoring by greatest common factor and recognizing patterns. It says factor negative 2xy squared plus 16xy minus 32x completely. So what we're going to do is we're going to notice a pattern. What is in all three of these? Well, if you notice here, what we have is we say, well, I have numbers in every one of these. I have a number 2, 16, and negative 32. Now I write here to divide by negative 2 first. Now why would I do that? Well, versus negative 2 versus just using regular 2, I take negative 2, so my front coefficient in this leading exponent is going to be a positive number. So I'm going to divide by negative 2 first. And I simply take negative 2 out of each one. I would suggest that you do one thing at a time. In other words, you might go ahead and gut negative 2 and take the x out as well. But I'd rather you do one thing at a time. That way it's not as easy to get confused. So what I mean by that is I've taken the negative 2 out, and now I have this remaining. Notice how I have a y still in each one of these guys. So I can yank, not a y, excuse me, an x, sorry. So I can yank an x out of each one. There's not a y in every one, but there's an x in every one. So let's divide by the x next. Okay, well I'll pull out an x now. So instead of xy squared, this goes away, just makes y squared. This goes away, just leaving negative 8y. This goes away, just leaving 16. So I'm at my next step. So I pull out a negative 2 and I pull out an x. Now can I split this even further? Upon looking at it, you have y squared minus 8y plus 16. I can pull these two apart to make y minus 4 and y minus 4. So I can split those apart. Then, because they're the same thing, I can just make that into a square. And that is my final answer. However, when you write this, you can put this, which is fine, or you can put negative 2x and then just put y minus 4 squared. Both answers are certainly correct. You'll probably run into this more often, but I would certainly take either one. This just shows me how you broke it down bit by bit, and that's fine too. Again, 3n to the 4th minus 15n cubed plus 12n squared. Let's look to see what is the same in each one. I hope you notice there's probably a 3 in each one, so I can probably nab a 3. And if you notice, there's n's that are the same, and the smallest is n squared, so I'm probably going to yank out 3n squared. Let's see, 3n squared, thank you. So let's see how I do it. I can't even complain, I'm the one who's writing. Anyway, so I pull out 3n squared. Now in this case I break my own rule. I don't do one thing at a time, I do it all at once. But that's okay. 3n to the 4th divided by 3n squared is going to leave me n squared. Negative 15 divided by 3 is 5, or minus 5, whichever. N cubed minus n squared leaves me an n, not minus, divide, man. And 12 divided by 3 is 4, n squared divided by n squared goes away. So now I have 3n squared on the outside, and I have n squared minus 5n plus 4. Question now is, can I split it up further? And the answer is yes. I have n minus 4 and n minus 1. Now why is that? Because both of these negatives times make a positive, but they add to make that negative 5n. This is actually the last stop. There's nothing more to do here. I've broken down as far as I can. You go ahead and try. Go ahead and pause this time, see what you can do. Alright, let's take a look. You have 4x cubed plus 18x squared plus 20x. Let's see what we can pull out. I've said you can pull out 2x to each. Hopefully you did that. 4 divided by 2 is 2. X cubed divided by x is x squared. 18 divided by 2 is 9. X squared divided by x is x. 20 divided by 2 is 10. X divided by x is nothing left. So 2x squared plus 9x plus 10. This right here, I'm going to use a method where I split the 9x up into a 5x and a 4x. Now remember, how do you do that? You take, if you don't remember, you take 2 times the 10 and that gives you 20. And you have to ask yourself what two numbers will add to make 9 but times to make 20, and you'll get 5 and 4. So I just split them up into 5 and 4. Remember, it makes no difference which order I put them in. It could be 5x plus 4 or 4x plus 5x. Doesn't make a difference. So I'll split them this way here and go ahead and make my new pattern. So 2x squared plus 5x plus 4x squared plus 10x. I'll go ahead and pull out an x for each. So I did so. They go on the outside. I go ahead and pull out this here, the 2 for each. Notice how I have 2x plus 5. And now the x is being times by 2x plus 5 and the 2 is being times by 2x plus 5. Therefore, I'm going to have x plus 2 is all times by 2x plus 5. And that's what you do there. So, now I have 2x. The only thing that I noticed, though, and I made a little mistake here, and I'm going to fix that mistake right now. What mistake did I make? 2x was by itself, so I'm going to separate that. Now, remember 2x plus 5, both of them both merge right here. But as x plus 2 goes right here, so this extra x is not needed. Therefore, it's only 2x on the outside, so my mistake there. 2x on the outside, and then on the inside, x plus 2 parenthesis, 2x plus 5 parenthesis. And there you have it. A little complex, I realize. Take it step by step. And again, I think you'll be fine. And that's all I have for you. It's a short lesson, I admit, because we're really just using all the different things you've done before. That being said, the best way to learn this is through practice. So for 8-6, you can expect us to do a lot in class, just because practice makes perfect. So hopefully we'll take some time in class, do a lot together, learn the concept, and you'll be fine. Thanks again.